Hey there. So here we are for lesson 0.2b. Um, and now we are going to actually be graphing lines. So leading up till now, we've been looking at lines and writing their equations. Now we're going to go the other direction. So you're going to be provided with an equation and you are going to graph the line. You are going to want a ruler for the notes today because when we graph lines, we want to make sure we're graphing them straight. So have either a ruler or a straight edge. Like here's an example of a straight edge. If I did not have a ruler handy, I could just use the edge of my stapler right here to draw a straight line. If you have anything handy like that, that will work. I just care that the lines look good. So we are graphing lines in slope-intercept form. For the warm-up, we're going to review what we did yesterday. So I have 3 equations here and 3 graphs. I want you to match each equation to one of these graphs. So check out this equation, see which of the graphs matches it, and you can just write the letter of the graph above that equation. So pause the video until you're ready to hear the answer, and then go ahead and hit play. Okay, so let's talk about these. I like to start by just looking at the y-intercept because that's the easiest one for me. So when I see this y-intercept of -2, I'm going to check all of these. So this one's at +3, +2. This one is at -2, and it's the only one at -2. So this first equation goes with graph C. Here we have a y-intercept of 3, which is on graph A. So my second equation goes with graph A, which means B must go with this third equation. So it has a y-intercept of 2, and so does that equation. So the order goes C, A, B. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into today's notes. So these are the 0.2b notes. And we are graphing lines today. From slope-intercept form. All right. So it's important to say that it's from slope-intercept form because there are a few different ways to write equations of lines. So I might be showing you how to graph lines in a different way in some other lesson. Now I have 3 steps to follow when you're graphing lines. So step 1 is you are going to plot the y-intercept. And in case you need a little reminder, that goes on the y-axis, okay? So that's why it's called the y-intercept, because it goes on the y-axis. So that word intercept means like runs into. It's like if you intercept a pass, right, in football. So it has to go through the y-axis. We don't want to plot that on the x-axis. Step 2, we are going to use the slope to plot more points. And there are infinitely many points on every line. So my general rule of thumb is I just want you to plot as many as you can fit in the space provided for you. And step 3, we're going to draw the line using a ruler. And we are going to add arrows. Okay, so we want to draw a straight line and we want to put arrows at the end. So let's go ahead and jump into example 1 here. So again, I'm sure most of you are not using graph paper to do this, which is totally fine. Just do it as neatly as you can in your notebook. All right, so the equation that we're going to graph is y equals -2/3 x minus 4. And I'm going to start by just drawing an xy axis. Okay, so step 1, plot the y-intercept on the y-axis. So this -4 is the y-intercept. And this line, the up and down line, is the y-axis. So we need to put a dot at -4 on the y-axis. That is down 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. So our first point goes there. Step 2, use the slope to plot more points. So this -2/3, the number that is with the x is always going to on your assignment, it is going to look like this. The negative sign is going to be in the middle, and you're probably going to wonder, well, which number is negative? And my answer to that is it could be either one. So on all of our examples today, we're actually going to find two different slopes because every line can go two directions. When we are going through this point right here, we can go this direction or we can go that direction. So we could use our slope to take us to the right or to take us to the left. So we are going to use or write both of those down. So I can put the negative on the 2, or I can put the negative on the 3. Okay, those are the same slopes. Now, if it's on the 2, that means we are going to go down 2, and then we are going to go left 3. I mean, right 3, my mistake. Okay, so the top is negative, the bottom is positive. However, when I switch it, both of those switch. So now we're going to go up 2, but then we are going to go left 3. So I'm going to show you both of those here. So if I go down to right 3, from my y-intercept, I count down 2, right 3. That lands me right here. Okay, down 2, right 3. If I follow this other direction, that tells me to go up 2, but then go left 3. And you can see those points are all collinear. They all line up with each other. So both of them worked. If I had done one here and another point landed up here, well, then something would be wrong. But we're trying to graph a line, and it looks like this just made a line. So that is a good thing. Now, I mentioned before that you can add more points. So I can keep following the slope wherever I have room. I don't really have room to go down to right 3 again over here. I'm kind of running out of room already, but I do have room to go up to left 3 again in that direction. So you can just keep following your slope until you run out of space. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my line now. I'm using a ruler. And then I need to put arrows at the ends of my line. And there we are, we're all done. All right, let's go ahead and try another one. Example 2. So example 2 is y equals 5x. So this one is a little different because there's no y-intercept provided for us here. So when there's no y-intercept, you are going to use 0. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just add it on myself. We're going to have a y-intercept of 0. Now you can do that when the y-intercept is missing. You cannot do that when the slope is missing. But I'll tell you what to do when the slope is missing in just a minute. Okay, so my y-intercept is at 0. So that's right in the center. And now let's talk about our slope. So this time the slope just says 5. Well, the first thing I can do is I can make that a fraction by putting it over 1. So one of my slopes is going to be 5 over 1. Okay. So if you imagine going up 5, right 1, that's where that, actually, I'm just going to do it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's right here. But remember, I can also go the other direction. So if I go the other direction, that is going to involve going down instead of up and going left instead of right. So both numbers are going to turn negative. I can go down 5, left 1. And once again, these points are all now collinear. So it'll be a good warning to you if your lines or if your points ever don't line up with your ruler, then you'll know you made a mistake. But as long as all three of them line up, you probably did it correctly. All right. So remember again, every slope has two directions, and the way that you can figure out the second one is just by changing the signs. Now, the rule is you have to change both numbers. From negative to positive, this 3 changed from positive to negative. And down here, I also changed both numbers. I went from positive to negative and then positive to negative. All right. So once again, you have to change both numbers. All right. So we have one more final example. Go ahead and just do it on the back here. So example 3. Is y equals x plus 2. Oops, you can't see that. Okay, so for this one, it kind of looks like there's no slope. There's no number in front of that x. When there's no number in front of the x, we don't want to use 0. We're going to use 1. All right, so our slope will be 1. Our y-intercept will be 2. Let's go ahead and draw our xy axes. All right. So y-intercept is 2. And my slope is 1. So if I want to make that into a fraction so that I have a rise over run, I'm going to make it 1 over 1. And my second slope will be -1 over -1. So from my y-intercept, I can use this positive slope, go up 1 over 1, up 1, right 1. But I can also use this other slope and go down 1, left 1. And I'm just continuing that pattern until I run out of room. Now these lines can go on forever and ever and ever, so that is why we put arrows on them. Just because I ran out of room does not mean the line doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so that is the end of your notes for 0.2b. I am always here if you need some extra help, so please let me know if you watch the video and you still have more questions.